What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and it's about time we do this video. You guys have been asking me, actually a lot of people have been asking me to make this video for quite a while. So here's the deal. I made this video once before when it was the Harry Potter RPG. We didn't know, all that much about it. It was just some basic ideas. I have not gone back to watch that. I have a brand new list, 5 things, and it's also, by the way, what you guys had said. I asked you guys actually on Twitter. If you guys aren't following me, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. I'd like to do these things. I'm going to do more of them. I asked you guys what you wanted to see in this game, and I'm going to use some of your suggestions, kind of blend them in, put them all kind of into actual categories, and also blend them in with what I think, and we're going to go through this list, okay? So these are a mixture of what you guys want and also what I want. If you guys like that idea, if you guys like this video, make sure you're leaving it a like. Make sure you guys are subscribing to this channel. I know I keep asking you guys that. We're getting so close to 40,000, and like I said, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle if you guys want to follow me there. I do, I'm up for making this video, like, again, with 5 more things, maybe 5 things the game, can't do, mistakes, things like that. So definitely a topic we can always revisit, whether it be an additional video or we could do it again right before this game comes out. So let's go through this. Number 1, far and away, which, again, this is basically, this number 1 is what you guys said, exploration. If there's one way to put all the stuff that you guys asked for into one category, I think that's what it would be. There were other things, and we'll go get through that in this video as well and on this list, but exploration seemed to be number 1. You guys had mentioned the Chamber of Secrets. You guys said Azkaban. You guys said, different, areas of Hogwarts. You guys said using the Marauders map to get around. A lot of really, firstly, fantastic ideas, all of them. But secondly, yeah, I mean, 100% agree. Look, a thing with Hogwarts that's so special and the potential there is the limitlessness of it. And that's something we talked about leading into this game's announcement, right? When we knew that Hogwarts would be the center hub, but we also knew, Hogsmeade could be, all these other places could be it. And it's like, well, they really need to take advantage of this. This is something that it's an established area, but there's also new things, right? They talked about that in the trailer, how we're going to go to places we've never been before in the wizarding world. And at the same time, we're going to go to places that we do know. And I think what makes it so special is we do know what these places are like, and we've experienced them, whether it be in the books or whether it be in the movies or whatever. We all have kind of a personal connection to them, and then seeing them in the game is going to be very special. And it's not something that every game can do. Even games that have amazing open worlds, they have to get you to buy in. You have to buy into the world, and you have to buy into what's happening. For this game, that's honestly one of the game's best strengths, is we've already bought in. We already know what Hogwarts is like. Now do it. Take everything you've learned from all of the wizarding stuff, which we know they read and they've researched all this stuff really well. They have J.K. Rowling at their disposal too. Make this world insane, and that goes with exploration. So I agree. I want to be able to go to places we've never gone before. I want to go to places we have gone before. Azkaban was seemingly teased in the trailer with those Dementors. We know we're going to go through Hogwarts. Hogsmeade seems to be a location. Can we go and pick our wands, right, with like Ollivander and stuff? There's a lot we can do potentially in this game. And so exploration, I think, is important, and exploring your open world is important for any open world game. But again, based off the strengths of this game, I think it's probably maybe the biggest thing that this game has to offer. The second thing, this is again kind of taking what you guys said, this was a little bit harder to put into one thing, is having a good start to this game. So by good start, I mean 2 things: wand customization, and we can go over wand stuff in general, and also the sorting hat, picking your house. So, firstly, let me just say again, like, a good start, the game does need to start off well. And openings of open world games to me are so spotty. Sometimes I just want to get them done, literally immediately. Like, I don't care about the customization. I don't care about this or that. Just get me in, start giving me the quest, start letting me go. And then other open worlds, they take different approaches, or maybe I'm just more, again, bought into them, and you maybe give them it, right? You're willing to go through it. So for Hogwarts, it is a test, because again, any open world game has this dilemma. You gotta make it engaging right off the beginning when you do the character selection stuff, all that stuff. And the wand, I've seen it, in all the videos I've made. I've seen, again, that was a wand on Twitter as well. Wand's something we haven't talked about as much, but the wand, it is such an important part of the wizarding world. What wand, right? The wand speaks, the wand picks you. Every wand is different. Every wand is very unique. Some are more powerful than others, right? But only maybe in the right hands, depending. So wands are so important. And from what the game looks like, because you see you in a wand store buying it, it does seem like the wand is going to be an important thing. I would not rule out at all customization, swapping out wands, maybe them having different like buffs. It's really the only way I could see them doing it, especially with an RPG game like this, where maybe you could set like charms to them, right? Like maybe like different engravings in them. I mean, obviously there's the visual look to them, but then there's also the power, and maybe one wand will be more powerful than the other. Maybe there'll be like an elite, maybe there'll be like an I don't know. Now I don't want to go into it because I want to research it first. I don't know where the Elder Wand is in this time period. Okay, I assume it's somewhere, right? So I don't know how you would be able to get that, if you could get that. I want to do some research and then make a video maybe specifically on that. That would be really cool, right? It's maybe like you have to 100% the game or something like that, and then you could do like a new game plus, and you can have the Elder Wand or something like that. So I think, again, wand, very important. And then the sorting hat, that's a personal gripe of mine that you guys have heard me say in several videos. I would prefer that you take like a quiz, that the sorting hat literally does place you. I did see one person on Twitter say, like, have a blend. Have it where if you want to take a quiz where the sorting hat will pick for you, do that, or you can just be given the opportunity to pick your house. It's odd, and maybe you can call me hypocritical, because I have said, like, I want to do Gryffindor and I want to do Slytherin. I want to be very good and I want to be very bad. I want to play this game twice and do that. I'm sure my wife will do like Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff, and actually combined we'll have done 3 of the 4 houses, okay? But, so like I want that, but at the same time I kind of want to be told where I'm going. I mean, but yet again, a blend, especially with Harry Potter, right? Like what he proved is that, and it's been done before too, Harry wasn't the first one to do it, I believe, that you can influence the hat to choose how that you can tell them, you can tell him where you want to go. So you can see why both of them would be something you would want. So we'll have to see how they end up doing that. The third thing is choices that matter. So in a game like this, a thing that this game needs, an open world game, an RPG story-based game, is your decisions need to actually affect something. And this really, now these are kind of mine, these are more blends of mine. Now this goes with my fourth thing, which is branching out quests and characters. So I think they go hand in hand, honestly, because the choices you make have to do something in this game, okay? They have to really make you feel like you're going down one path versus another, where if you did something different, you did multiple things different, then you could say, okay, that's how I would get to a different area. So you want that, but then also the quests and the characters you're meeting. I want to have relationships with these characters, not just that, okay? I mean, I want that, right? But I also want to have relationships with them that may be different than yours, and quests that maybe, and questing is a little bit differently. What I mean with this is a kind of a far out reaching want, but I love games that, and there's not many that do it, okay? This is more of a rare thing that only the best can do, which, again, I want this game to be the best. When side quests really can impact your main quest, when maybe characters remember that in the story, or something happens in the game where, like, the game knows that you've done that and that impacts the base game. I feel like my best example could be, like, Mass Effect. You always, to me, like, Mass Effect 2 and 3, like, yes, the side quests took a lot of time, and, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to do all of the, character-specific quests. I was trying to get all the factions on my team, all that stuff. And maybe that took some time, and maybe that could be annoying. But I felt like, when it starts to pay off, when the story starts to keep going, you can really see the game maybe didn't fully know. You'd have to, like, look in the code and all the, like, the designers of the game. But it felt like the game, knew or recognized that I had done other things that were impacting the main game. And that's really, in my opinion, what makes side quests so cool, is yes, they are side things, but maybe some side things or character-specific things with, like, AI, maybe they can really start to influence the base game. So those things go hand in hand. Decisions, choice-making, the quests that actually mean something, the characters that can actually grow and interact with you. Really, those are like 4 things, and those are, I put into 2 categories, but those are things I really want. And then the final thing, I did say this, I believe this was one of my things from the original 5 things that the game needs, but also with a slight twist. I want there to be a balance between being very good and very bad, and I also want them to be very developed. So what I mean by this is, again, each house you go in, I want it to feel very unique. It is the biggest problem with any choice-based game. I think maybe it's more amplified in, like, episodic games than maybe open world RPGs, but If I go into Hufflepuff, I want to have an experience that's just different, just flat out different than if I go into Ravenclaw or Slytherin or Gryffindor. Now, yes, I think factually and statistically, although people will say, "Oh, I'm a Hufflepuff, I'm a Ravenclaw," and they'll be so proud. I don't like discredit you. I'm not saying that's not true, but I think we're going to find out statistically the majority of players are going to play as either Gryffindor or Slytherin. I just don't think there's any way around that. So that's why I'm focusing mainly on it. We can talk about Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw when we get more information because we really don't know where the gray area is, right? For me, if I'm good, I want to be, and I make all the good decisions. I want to know where that takes me. I want to know how that influences the story. I want to know how that influences my friends and the characters that are around me. And I'm interested in to see how that influences my power because it's kind of even like a Star Wars thing, Harry Potter and Star Wars, right? Kind of closely related, where if you go down that dark path, you do unlock kind of powers that are very specific to being bad, and you are very powerful. But then the question is being good better? Because being good actually and being true to yourself and just being a good person, and also I guess being very talented, because you can be as good as you want but just not be skilled, and then you're not gonna make it very far in anything, right? Like a game like a Star Wars or Harry Potter or something like that. But you know what I mean. So if I'm really good, I want to be powerful, but I want to know, how is that power? Is it different? How different is it than being bad? How different is it than being a Raven, top of your class Ravenclaw student? You know what I mean? What's the difference between that and being a Gryffindor? And that is where games can kind of fall apart. Again, mainly episodic games, I think, more so. But if there's not that much that differentiates one house from the other or one quest, I assume you'll get specific quests if you're in a house. You know what I mean? Like you can maybe do some Hufflepuff related quests that you just can't do if you're in Slytherin. I want that. I think that makes sense. I think that that is a way, by the way, to differentiate the two. And then being bad. We talked about, I think this was an entire video that I made on this game. How bad can you actually be in this game? Well, that's the thing. You're a fifth-year student, right? I think we can pretty much say for certain. In fact, I even saw in like that video, they're taking the carriage, which is something that you do when you're a fifth year. So I do think that leak is true. You're definitely not a first year. I think you're a fifth. The rumor is you get older in it, right, where it's not just 1 year in the school, it's all the years, and maybe you even graduate. So you're going to be kind of mature. I assume you're going to be able to do some pretty, can you do some of the forbidden spells? Can you do Avada Kedavra? Maybe not like in school. I don't want you doing that to your classmates or your teachers, right? But if you're bad, I think it's probably mainly going to be, the whole plot line of this game, right, is like that you're unlocking secrets and your choices are going to impact the legacy of Hogwarts, right? That's, I think, like almost the line word for word. I know that whether you're really good or really bad or somewhere in between, like that will obviously impact where the story goes or maybe the decision that gets made towards the end. But I also want to feel. So if I'm bad, I want to have bad friends. I want to, I want to have friends that are also evil. I want to basically maybe even be able to have myself be locked off from having friends that maybe I want to have, but they're like, no, you're like an evil person. I don't want to be with you. I want that. And I also, again, want to feel powerful. If you're evil, if you go headfirst into those, dark, areas, dark spells, maybe you unlock something that other people, and we do know your character is special. He or she does possess something that other students don't have, but just in general, right? If I'm evil, I want to maybe be able to unlock things that I just can't get in any other way, and I really want to feel like I'm bad, like I'm an evil person. So the game's got, again, so much potential. I mean, talking about these things, I can make a top 20 list, truly, and I maybe I will one day, right? But there's so much that this game can do. There's a lot of things that this game needs to do. There's also things that this game cannot do. So again, guys, to kind of wrap up, number one, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with my list? What's your own list, right? What do you want to see in this game? What do you think needs to be in this game? Number two, make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit the bell icon here. Follow me on Twitter, PodcastNow15, if you have not yet already. And I'm going to be continuing this coverage of Hogwarts Legacy. Like I said, 2 videos pretty consistently every single week. Probably will increase that as we get closer to the game. But as always, if you guys want me to talk about something specific, let me know. I'll try and do more like Twitter things where I ask you guys questions on Twitter, and we'll go from there, okay? Thank you so much for the support, guys. I hope to see you all on the next video.